This is Scott from PRS Setups, place where you get 2 different builder setup packs for 20 bucks a month. We are at New Hampshire. Let's take a ride. Alright, let's go over this. So, the biggest thing about this track is you're going to run the second lane, so the first seam, and you're going to diamond it. Diamonding it is the best way to do it. You want to have it come up the racetrack, really turn well in the center, and then straight off. So let's go over our throttle and brake points. So you want to be braking between the 2 and the 3. So you see the 3, between the 2 and the 3, we're going to give it a decent amount of brake, 50% here. And we're going to downshift. So you can downshift roughly where the new pavement is. You can downshift earlier, but I wouldn't downshift instantly when you're on the brakes because we're doing 4th to 3rd shift. And because that's a bigger gap for RPM, you want to wait to shift. And note that we are still on the brakes as we drive through the corner. So you want to make sure you have trail brake. Trail brake sets the nose so you can get through the corner. If you let up too quick, it'll start pushing through the center. So make sure you're on the brake. We're holding the brake all the way to the Toyota sign. And then you're going to let the car drift up a little bit to where your right sides are roughly on the second dotted line here. You can go a little bit higher and get a little straighter run off, but that's a good goal to make it. And then you notice I'm on throttle when I get up there. Get on throttle, make the thing rotate. We're just past this Toyota sign right here. You want to have your lefts right here on the seam coming off. And then you might have to work the throttle and the steering wheel a little bit because there are bumps all the way through turn 2. It is definitely a difficult corner to get off, so running 80% throttle really actually doesn't hurt you. And it's better to get over the bumps instead of spinning out, so make sure that, especially late in the run where the things get a little bit slippier and all that stuff, make sure you treat this corner with a bit of respect because you can spin out or slap the wall. So come all the way out to the edge of the wall, and then our brake point here in 3 is going to be between the 3 and the 2 here, just like on the front stretch. And we're going to brake about 50% again, getting in. Our rights are going to follow this kind of weird tar area here. Same downshift when you're roughly right where the new pavement is. And again, we're left sides on the seam. And we're still holding our brake, all the way to the magic mile. And then we're also washing up the track a little bit to get your diamond. This one you're going to go up the track just a tiny bit more than in 1 and 2. The center of the car will be about where the dotted line is. And you get on throttle to get the thing rotated, and then you want your lefts back down here on the seam with the dotted line. Then your aim is right here at the very start of the restart zone. We're full throttle. And you notice I'm full throttle a little bit earlier. It's super critical to get the car rotated and get full throttle as soon as you can to carry as much speed off. Turn 4 is a lot easier to manage. It doesn't have a bunch of bumps, so you can get on the throttle a little bit earlier. And that's lap here, shifting 3 to 4. The strategy is definitely If you can get some positions early, you definitely want to do that. You can dive down in to the corner and use the very bottom lane, but just be aware that there's a lot of bumps down there. So if you're making a pass, make sure that when you make the pass that you don't slide up into the person, but there's a way you can do almost like a slide job there. Just be aware that if you get too much brake, you could spin the car out on entry, and give room for people that's doing dive bombs too. You can experiment with 2 tires, 4 tires. I don't have the right answer for that yet, but the left sides don't wear very much, so you could probably do a 2-tire strategy here. Just make sure that your line is very precise. If you start pushing on entry, crank your brake bias back, make the brake bias go more negative, reduce it. Make sure that you've got good control on entry. If you are still pushing in the center, make sure you hold the brakes just a little bit longer. Just that 10% of brake will help you out to not push up. So just be aware of that. This is definitely a difficult track. Not as bad as Gateway, but it's in the same ballpark as being pretty difficult. So that's all I got for this week. Good luck, everybody.